Hi everyone, Seth Robbins here, and thanks so much for tuning in today. I want to talk to you about a principle-based approach to student transformation in terms of what we do here at BYU Idaho in the College Success Program. We really focus on three core principles: growth mindset, the belief that our abilities and talents can be improved through dedication and hard work; grit, which Angela Duckworth defines as passion and perseverance for long-term goals; and then finally, grace, owing to the faith-based nature of our school. Brad Wilcox defines this as the power which is sufficient to cover us, transform us, help us, change weaknesses to strengths, as long as that transformation process takes. And a lot of people ask us, well, why don't you focus solely on a skills-based approach like time management and study skills? And the answer is we did do that before. And counterintuitively, it didn't actually lead to the results that we were hoping to. In fact, we were finding that there was no statistically significant correlation between the intervention, the skills-based intervention of the course, and any meaningful retention or academic achievement gains. And so it begged the question, well, maybe we should try a principle-based approach and then push students to make specific skills-based applications in conjunction with campus resources. And we're finding some trends early on that are corroborating that this new approach to the course. And also we're finding this is grounded in the research as well, that a principle-based approach in conjunction with skills is more effective than a skills-based approach in isolation. And what kind of cemented this for me a while ago was a class where we were focusing heavily on study skills. I put a lot of work in with DJ Tykert, who's our campus guru in study skills. And at the conclusion of that class, which effectively helped them understand how to study, how to interleave, how to regularly quiz themselves, at the end of that class, I asked students, how many of you felt like this was really useful? And almost all the students raised their hand. And then I asked, how many of you are going to use this in your studies? And only like 2 people raised their hand. And I thought, man, there's a disconnect here. And I realized in some cases, there are students who don't need study skills. They have effective study skills already. And in many other cases, they do need study skills, but they just don't have that motivation, that impetus to actually do something about it. So a principle-based approach really helps us to help them to understand what these principles are, internalize what they mean for them, and then think about their current challenges in terms of their long-term goals and how overcoming those challenges actually helps them to achieve those goals, their occupational goals, their familial goals, and so on and so forth. So we're really trying to begin with both the end, graduation and beyond, with the beginning in mind, helping them find firm footing on the slippery slope of transition to school by arming them with growth mindset, grit, and abundant faith in the Savior's grace to transform them. In a lot of our discussions, we realize that college success and maybe other classes are kind of like a football team. You have the student who's represented by Barry Sanders, the running back, and then you have the instructor who's represented as the quarterback. And then we're not the only members of the team, otherwise we'd never be successful. On a campus, you have the financial aid office, wellness center, counseling center, student support, tutoring center, academic advising, dean of students, disability services, and other faculty. We're all working together as a team to help this student, make it to the end zone, graduation and beyond. On the other side of the ball, we have the 1991 Buffalo Bills defense. Cornelius Bennett, Darryl Talley, and Bruce Smith. And these are all the challenges a student might face: finances, study skills, social skills, doctrinal challenges here, mental health, physical health, addictive behavior, among others. And the big one, represented by Bruce Smith, Hall of Fame sacker, is time management, which is really a farce. Time management is really more of a self-control issue. It's personal management within time allotted in a given day. But a lot of students point to time management as their biggest impediment to success, and they're right. But in this solely skills-based approach where I say, listen, everyone, we're going to do a time management chart today. You're going to document every half hour of this whole week to analyze how you effectively use time and how you ineffectively use time. I might as well have just been saying Omaha spider Y2 banana to them, because for many of the students, it just really wasn't taking root. And this was the result of this play. called the play, here comes time management, set. The students didn't go anywhere. We had time management as the third module of the class. And 6 or 7 weeks later, when I call students into the office and say, hey, what's going on? Well, they would tell me, I'm just really struggling to manage my time. Well, it makes sense, really, that a one-off module is not going to lead to transformation. Rather, and a lot of the research supports this in terms of professional development, it's sustained interaction with an intervention over time that leads to transformation. Think about your undergraduate experience. Think about your graduate experience. You changed because you were interacting with your faculty, with the content over a several year period of time. A one-off module didn't change you. Think about the last academic conference you went to. Can you remember what was said there? Maybe. Did you act on it? And if not, it's probably not changing you. Think about general conference. Do you remember what was spoken there? If you can't remember, and do you have any sort of real prospect of actually acting on the things you don't remember and therefore changing your life? Probably not. Well, we found that a skills-based approach, solely a skills-based approach, while that didn't work, a principle-based approach did work. And we have some early trends qualitatively, anecdotally, weighting quantitatively to see if this is bearing out. But anecdotal and qualitative evidence seem to suggest that it is working. So here's what happens, okay? Quarterback calls the play. So here's what happens. We have the play right here. The quarterback has the ball. The ball is these principles. And the running back then calls the play and says, you know what, with this ball, the 3 Gs, grit, growth, mindset, grace, I'm going to choose to follow my lead blockers of student support and the tutoring center. And they're going to help me manage my time. Well, let's see what happens. Here comes Bruce Smith's time management missed because they follow those lead blockers. Now other challenges, study skills, social problems, time management again. It might chase them throughout their career at BYU Idaho, but they're armed with these principles. Time management rears its ugly head again, misses, study skills misses, and finally they make it to the end zone, they graduate, and these principles have helped them. These principles have helped guide them all the way to the end zone because we're not telling them what they should care about. We're arming them with these principles, and then they're choosing which of the obstacles in their life are most important to knock down at this time and what they can do in order to be successful. They're choosing their route to success instead of us just telling them what all of them need to do in a kind of a generalized approach. We're finding that with individuals, I don't know how wide this is, but with certain individuals, what we saw with that play is happening also on campus. Here's a case of a particular student. She says, during the middle of this semester, I had to have surgery on my leg. I lost all my motivation to do work on homework. It wasn't just motivation I started lacking. My faith and stamina started lacking as well. I felt utterly hopeless. I wouldn't do my work, and then I would be devastated for the grades I was receiving. I told myself this is how I would end my first semester of college. I purchased the book Grit for my class, and I saw it on my bed one night. I started rereading some of the chapters. I felt so inspired. I had been taught all of these things in this class, but I had just forgotten them. All the memories of our discussions about grit and growth mindset came flooding back. I told myself the only way to feel happy is to do the things I dread. I stayed up late and finished procrastinated assignments for a few nights. I set a schedule for myself. Because of the growth mindset, I decided to implement that one night. I ended my semester with sincere joy and feeling proud for my efforts to not give up. This is the approach that we're trying to help people to espouse in their life and to act upon. So they're feeling similar things to her, proud for their efforts and not giving way to discouragement and despair because of some initial early setbacks. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you want to talk about this in more detail, feel free to email me. I'd love to be able to talk about this with you personally, but I'm really excited about this and would welcome any opportunity to have some dialogue even further, especially to hear some of your insights that could help to deepen my understanding and improve the things that we do in college success. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.